this evening. Very warm greetings to all the participants and the audience for this faculty development program. I am more than grateful to stand here and welcome you all to this faculty development program. This program is the 6-day faculty development program based on advanced methodology for research and quality publication. Started from today and it will be continued for another 6 days. From that is it is on various topics from 5:30 to 7 p.m. These sessions were handled by professors and industrial personnel from reputed institutions. This workshop is focused on research procedures. As a researcher, it is mandatory for one to know the basics of research in order to satisfy the purpose of research and establish an acceptable conclusion. The FDP proceeds to be an eye-opening session for beginners and middle-level researchers, and also aimed at imparting skills required to handle different tools and techniques that are useful during the entire process of research and scholarly communication. FDP is insightful for researcher to continue the research towards the development and their career and the growth of the institution. Now I request Mrs. Nitya Devi to invite our chief guest.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our chairman, Mr. K. Loganathan, vice chairman, Mr. L. Naveen Prasad, director admin, Dr. M. Prabhakaran, director academic, Dr. V. Karnanidhi, principal, Dr. V. Uma Devi, and vice principal, Dr. Maria Payaspachali, and our special person, Dr. T. Ronnie, assistant professor, SRM Science and Technology. We welcome you, ma'am.
Happy evening, ma'am.
It's my honor to welcome our college IQAC staff members and other college faculties. My heartiest welcome to everyone present here. Now, I would like to introduce our resource person, Dr. T. Ronnie, an eminent scholar. She is a rank holder in NCOM, Manoormaniyam Sundarnar University. She has published more than 10 journals from national and international journals. Her research papers are published in reputed journals which are indexed in Scopus. She has participated more than 30 workshops in various institutions. She held Proficiency Award, Gold Coin and Cash for getting 100% results for both semester in academic 2011-12 in GSS Jain College, Chennai. She has appointed as a panel member, IIDE, India Institute of Digital Education, Mumbai, on LinkedIn Essentials. She has also awarded Elite Silver 12 weeks NPTEL AICTE approved course certificate on financial accounting. Now, I hand over the session to Dr. T. Ronnie to begin the session, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Audible, ma'am. Little bit sound is low, ma'am.
Yeah.
Voice is low.
Just a minute. Is it okay, ma'am, now?
Now it's okay.
Okay.
I thank the management for giving me an opportunity to join in the FDP program. And happy evening to one and all present here. And straight away I'm going to present my screen. able to view my screen?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know that nowadays new educational policy, it highlights that each and everyone has to complete their PhD for being a professor inside a college, as well as everyone, even if we have already got a doctorate degree, we have to publish journals in the reputed Scopus, Web of Science, like that way. So in such a case, sometimes we get rejected. Our papers get rejected. What might be the reason behind that? Because we have to follow certain important matters which will make our journals highlighted. So that's why I start with the scope of research methodology. So we know that if it is a scope, it means it covers a lot of matters, and research methodology is essential in all disciplines and for all programs, and also for research and development of all the products. And I think somebody has to mute.
Yes, I will check it.
Yes, yes.
Guys, don't mute in between. Please
Audio.
check your audio, please. Check your audio.
Yeah, as the first slide says that it is a search of knowledge, and also it is a organized as well as systematic inquiry or else a investigation. What for what purpose we do all such investigation? In order to arrive at a answer solution for a complex issue. So next, when we talk about the objectives, that is the aim for doing a research, we need to frame a hypothesis. That is, what is hypothesis? So hypothesis is an assumption. Okay, may or may not be a fact which is related to that problem, but we frame a assumption that whether it is the reason behind such a problem. And after that, we go inside the cause as well as the effect for such a problem. So that is why we first of all we uh, we derive at a objective of finding out the characteristics which are individual or which are the situation or a group which occurs, so that there are many variables which are associated with a particular problem, and so that we frame a hypothesis. What is hypothesis? Hypothesis is an assumption of a causal relationship between variables. And next one, when we talk about features, because this is the most important thing which we need to know. So the features, the first one, empirical. So what is the these are the various classification inside the features of research, and let me see one by one. What is empirical? So the empirical is due to experimentation. That is, it results with some observation. After that, we conclude with some experimentation. And this is second one, systematic. Systematic in the sense we will have some research process. Step by step, we will derive at a conclusion. And when we talk about the controlled feature inside the research, we will we will know about what are the variables. When we talk about the variables, the term itself says that variables means it varies. So there are some kind of we will see in detail about what are variables. So only the dependent and independent variables, and which one has to be controlled is the one which we will come across inside the features of research. And next one is, and next we employ the hypothesis which we have already framed, which is related to our particular journal or a particular thesis or a particular problem. And we do some kind of critical analysis by applying some statistical tools, as well as after that we will come across some inside applying the statistical tools also. It should be with some aim related to our topic, and we will come with an unbiased as well as some logical reasoning behind our conclusion. And the last one, we employ quantitative as well as some kind of qualitative results. when we talk about employing quantitative, what is the meaning of quantitative? Quantitative means in numbers. We represent everything in numbers so that we apply some statistical methods. What is qualitative? The qualitative is just we are describing what is what and why that is what happened during the pre history period, or else something which we just describe. Normally in literature they use the methodology of descriptive way, and here when we talk about the futures of research, we know that empirical means some experiment with the observation, and second one systematic, that has some process as well as steps. If it is controlled, what we have to control? We have to control the dependent as well as the independent variables, and we employ the hypothesis which we have already framed, and we critically analyze by using statistical tools, and after analyzing what we come, we match with our objective, that is our aim. After that, we come with an unbiased conclusion with a logical reasoning behind that. And finally, we employ quantitative or statistical methods. Okay. So, always this research method as well as methodology seems to be the same, but it has some small, meaning, differentiation in the meaning. The first one, when we say research method, it is the tools as well as the techniques. So whenever I say, keep saying what is tools and what are techniques, the tools and the techniques means if we apply some chi-square test, t-test, f-test, and I'll say for what are the problems, what are the analytical tools also have to be applied. That also in future slides I'll mention. And that is what applying tools and techniques or the research methods. And what is the meaning of methodology? Methodology is the procedure, that is the process in order to solve the problem. Because we keep mentioning the methodology just because we want to find out the reason behind that, and we need to give some conclusion, so that we say it is a methodology. And next one, we talk about types of researches. This is the one I thought of mentioning, because inside Scopus or else reputed journals, you need to mention what type of research you have used inside your thesis. Okay, so here, these are the classification inside the types of research, and let me see one by one. When we talk about descriptive research, as I said, it normally inside literature we use descriptive way of research, and on the safer side, if we don't apply any tools or techniques, then we can say that my particular research is a descriptive research, wherein we talk about the characters, that is characters or the problems we define, we describe, and we will say what are the reasons behind, and we will never focus on why. Okay, why this particular thing, we are taking this particular topic like that way. We will survey the past, present, and we will find the fact, what is the reason behind that, and we will inquire about that. And normally descriptive research has another term also, another meaning, that is ex post facto research. So what is descriptive research? It is ex post facto research. Yes. When we talk about the next one, analytical, as analytical means we use the secondary data, so that we may compare both the situations. So for example, if we take history, pre period demonetization, we can take as an example. Another thing, I know that every one of you have come from various disciplines, that is commerce, science, computer science, like that way. This will be helpful for you to match with your particular discipline also, because this is generally we talk about the general outline, and normally commerce is based upon social science. What I have done a research before 2 months, the same topic can be taken by the other student or a faculty, and they can also make a research, because see, my prediction can differ with their predictions, so that social science has differences in the results. Okay, so that is what the difference between scientific research as well as the social science research. When I talk about the analytical research, here what we do, we compare the we comparative study we make, so that pre-period as well as post-period can be analyzed. And the next one, applied research. And here we say we come to a conclusion, that is immediate problem which we are facing in the society. We can take COVID as an example. So here what we do, we want to find the uh, uh, vaccination or else apt medicine which cures that particular problem. So that is what applied research. So we aim at certain conclusions, so that in which the society is facing, so that we apply that research here. So that is what applied research. Next one, fundamental or else basic or the pure research. Here, what is the thing is, see, even in economics as well as in commerce, BBA, business administration, we have some concepts. I can take some example, that Maslow's need hierarchy theory. Everyone we know what is Maslow's need hierarchy theory. But that is, even that now recently one particular professor has taken the same topic of Maslow's need hierarchy theory, and what he has done is, why alcoholists this need hierarchy theory doesn't apply. Because let me say what is the meaning inside need hierarchy theory. So when the food safety and shelter is the basic need for a person, then he'll get motivated to get that. Once the basic condition gets satisfied, he'll move on for the safety, that is he needs a permanent job, like that way. When he gets that, he'll move on to the third one, that is he wants to get some status. And the fourth one, if he crosses one by one, if he gets that particular he gets motivated to acquire that particular estate. So that is what need hierarchy theory. How I relate with the fundamental and pure research is, here generalized theory is compared, as well as what we do, we do a research and we find some phenomena. Okay, so that we say sometimes in mathematics there are many examples for fundamental research, so that we say that fundamental, basic as well as pure research. And the next one, exploratory or formulative research. Here, so detailed analysis is done, new ideas are found, and new facts are found, and sometimes we do case study. For example, some auditor or else some company secretary, as well as a lawyer, judge. What they do, they explore, they do research. After that, they'll relate with the facts, as well as they'll come to a conclusion. So that we say here, completely we explore, we do a detailed analysis, so that we come across we formulate some, we do some research, and we come with the solution with the unfamiliar problem. So that is what we say, exploratory or formulative research. Next one, diagnostic. So when diagnosis is there, then there will be a cause as well as an effect. So this is what. So first, what we need to do is we need to find out the what is the prior knowledge of that problem. Then only we can find out the cause as well as the effect. That is what the diagnostic research. Maximum in medicine field, we do this diagnostic research. And the next one, quantitative. I said quantitative. Quantitative means numerical numbers. We can express the result in numerical numbers. So that we say quantitative methods we use. It includes experiments, observation, surveys, and closed-ended questions. What's the meaning of closed-ended questions? For example, you are asked yes or no, to tick yes or no, or else some other, if you agree, not agree, dislike, like that way. It is what closed-ended question. They do not ask you why you like that, because you are going to tick only yes, no. Okay. So this is what closed-ended questions. So closed-ended questions are related with the quantitative research. And next one is the qualitative research. When we talk about quality, they are the write-ups. Write-ups means you need not show anything in numbers. Everything is of description. It is the concepts you have to understand. Your thoughts are put into it, and what are the experiences you gather inside that, then we give an in-depth insight on that particular topic. So that I say literature reviews are based upon qualitative research. So sometimes we derive at some concepts and we put into some theory, like what I said, Maslow's need hierarchy theory. All that comes under a qualitative research. And next one, when we talk about research process, so research process, because everyone, if you want to do a PhD, it should have all these things. It should match up with all this research process. The first one, what is the first one is defining the research problem. Second one, we review the literature. As well as what we do, we formulate the hypothesis. Next one, we design the research samples. Okay, and after that, we collect data, analyze it, and we interpret. Sometimes we interpret, sometimes we generalize. And I'll tell you what is the difference between interpretation as well as generalization. And last one, what is that is report writing. And here, see, some places we have F, okay, and in some places we have double F. What is the meaning is, while we take some sample design, while we design a research, there should be some feedback which needs to we need to get from the other peoples also. Okay, so that is what here designing, research design is connected with the analyzing data. So this is what we say, it has a feed forward is that it serves the vital function of providing criteria for evaluation. We will see in the, so let me go one by one. As we say, as it is the research process, we know all this, we know what is formulating the research problem. For that purpose, in order to come across what is your research problem should be, you need to consult the experts. So that is why for doctorate degrees, we have a guide. So with the guide, you have to consult and you have to frame a research problem. Or else, for example, if you are already a doctorate, and what you can do, you can take a government policy and you can do research with the related problems just because of the government policy. So for everything, while framing the research problem, what you have to do is initially you must have a expert opinion. You have to collect the expert opinion. Then second one, second one is collecting the data. So here you collect the data. It may be conceptual or empirical. Uh, what is the meaning of empirical means? Already the others which who has done. Okay, so that we review the literature. And third one, when we talk about the hypothesis framing, hypothesis. So we will have always we will have H naught. That is H naught means it is H naught in the sense null hypothesis we say. And another thing what we say, H1 alternative hypothesis. So that also we'll see in the next one, research design. Next one, when we talk about the research design, what is the meaning of research design? This is what formulating the research problem. I said you have to have the consultation with the expert. Next one, we do a literature survey. So this literature survey, you can get, you can get the survey done from the previous survey, which has already been done by the government, so that you can use primary data, or else sometimes you can use the secondary. If you are doing on the first time, then it is primary data. That if we are using the other data, which has already been taken by the government or some other peoples collectively, then we say it is a secondary data. So after literature survey, what we do, we develop the hypothesis. So here, what is hypothesis? I said it's an assumption. Okay, we want to find what is the logical reason behind that. Logic means there should be some correlation. And what is the empirical consequence? That is, what is the empirical consequence means we have gone through the literature. So that what we do, we compare with the already done work as well as our conclusion. So for that purpose, we need to frame a right way hypothesis, assumption. So I said hypothesis will be H naught. H naught means H0. In research terms we say H dot. This is HO and H1. What is H dot? When we talk negatively, this is not the reason for this particular a problem. If we assume that it is not the problem for this thing, that is negatively, if we derive a hypothesis, then it is H, not null hypothesis. And if we give some alternative answers for that, then alternative frame a hypothesis, then it is H1. Okay, H1 is an alternative hypothesis. Next one, when we talk about the research design is nothing. It is a blueprint. Okay, so what and how and I mean how the steps or else the process of research will be carried out. And when inside that it will be grouped under, that is research purposes. When we frame the steps, we will find we will group under exploration, description, diagnosis, as well as experimentation. And when we talk about the sample design, as I said, sample design is the blueprint. Okay, what we need to take is, that is whether you take universally, that is complete population is taken into account, or what you do, you take only a few people, then that they, like that way we divide the samples. So we'll come across what are probability samples as well as non-probability samples. I have given exclusively the slides for this. Let me go to the next one. So collecting the data. So how you collect the data, that is, if it is fresh data, for the first thing, if you collect, we say it is a primary data, that too through survey we do. What is secondary data? The secondary data means already published materials we use for statistical process. And when we come across the research processes, we need to execute the project. Okay, so this is the important step. Only for that purpose we have framed some problem and we have done all these steps. So if we want to execute this project, what we need to do is, we need to find out what are all the dependable as well as dependent variable as well as the independent variable. That too, how does this has a logical sequence in this particular research. That is what it is executed under a systematic manner. And the next one, we I'll analyze the data. Okay, so after executing the particular project, what we do, project is the thing which we do as a research. Okay, that is what I say, project. And here, while analyzing, what you need to do is, you need to categorize under three headings. What is that? Coding, editing, as well as tabulation. What is the meaning of coding? uh, Maximum in, if we take gender, what we do for women, we will give some number, that is for women it is 1, as well as for male 2, or else some kind of symbols or some counts are given. So that is what coding we give as a coding inside the analysis of data. And second one, while editing, what we do, why we edit, just we need to improve the particular quality of the coding, as well as whatever we put into the research, we want to give, increase our quality, so that we edit. And with coding, what we do, we tabulate. We will come across some kind of conclusion, and finally what we do, we classify the data under tabulation, and it is a part of a technical procedure. And next one, when we talk about the hypothesis testing, here what we do, the facts should be the facts which we have collected should support the hypothesis, because many a time in reputed journals, why they reject our papers, just because what we have done, no, it would not, there will be no factual support for the hypothesis. So that's why what they do, when the experts they review the particular paper, they have the tendency of rejecting. And sometimes they may even say, if you want to refine it, you have to pay this much, like that way, because as our factual correlation is wrong, how can we publish in a reputed journal? So here, inside hypothesis testing, what we need to do is, we have to support the fact which is related to the hypothesis which we have framed. And today, if time permits, I will explain about one chi-square test, because if you want to present a paper, at least one analytical tool you can use it. Okay. So next one, after hypothesis testing, what we do, we come across some kind of interpretation, or else we come across some generalization. So what is the difference between generalization and interpretation? If you have framed a hypothesis and if you have ended with some conclusion, then it is generalization. So if you say that it is a generalized, the I generalized, then that should be one hypothesis must be there. And what is the meaning of interpretation? For interpretation, you need not have any hypothesis. Just even a percentage. That is, in this, if you are doing that, what age people are trending regarding, garments of this particular style. Like that way, if you want to do any kind of, comparison, then what you can do a simple percentage bar diagram. Like that way you can do, and you can interpret the conclusion. For this purpose, you need not frame any hypothesis. So this is the basic difference between generalization as well as interpretation. What is generalization? You should have framed a hypothesis, and you should have applied an analytical tool, so that you should have ended up with the result. Okay, this is what generalization and interpretation. The last and main point, highlighted sequence of research is the preparation of the report. So even for preparation of report, I can use 20 minutes, but I only crisp way I'm going to give you. What are the things which you have to show inside the report? That is, the layout should contain 3 major parts. What is the first one? Is the preliminary page. So inside the preliminary page, what are all the things which you should have? That should be introduction should be there, problem finding should be there, an objective of the study should be there. Then what are all the scope? That is, what are all the major areas you have covered and what limitation you faced. And the next one, what methodology you have utilized. And the last one is the review of literature. And the next one, when we talk about the main text, inside the main text, what you need to do is, here is where you have to show how you have done the data analysis and what are your findings and what you give as a suggestion. That is what main text. And the last one, inside the end matter, what you need to do is you have to conclude, and you should have some kind of appendices and bibliography. And what is the mean? And also it should be indexed. Okay. So let me say what is the conclusion. We know, because as we have done the analysis, we would have come across some findings. That is what we are going to say as a conclusion. Then what is bibliography? That also what are all the journals, books, reports you have referred, you have consulted. That should be given in the last end matter. And inside the index, say, it is a quick lookup list of terms that appears inside your paper, journal, or dissertation. Okay. So quick lookup means what are all the things highlighted inside your paper. Yes. Next. I think, am I fast or is it okay?
Okay, ma'am, you carry on, ma'am. You are not first.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Yes. So when we talk about the yes. So the entire population is there, and if we want to find out some correlated relationship, what we do, we take some sample. So like if we want to find out whether we have COVID or not, what we do, we take a sample of our blood, as well as we come across some conclusion. So when we talk about the classification of sampling, basically it is divided into probability sampling as well as non-probability sampling. And what is probability sampling? That is giving chances for everyone in the population. So that is what the probability sampling. And opposite to not giving chance for everyone is the non-probability sampling. And when we talk about probability sampling, we use probability sampling inside quantitative research. Okay, so these are all the classification of probability. We shall see one by one. So what is the first one is the simple random sampling. So what is the meaning of simple random sampling is, see, as I said, inside probability sampling, we give chances for everyone in the population, so that what we do, we can take an example of a lottery method. What we do, we give now, we assign numbers. What we do, we put all the numbers. For example, in a class there are 60 students, and we want to give some, we want to do an event or activity or assign some work. What we do, we take we what we do, we in under lottery method, we find out one, we randomly we pick some people. So that is what simple random sampling. And the next one is the systematic sampling. What is the meaning of systematic is, where simple random, it is a luck, it is luck based. Anyone can be picked up. But inside systematic, we have a system. How? See, we can order them in numbers, and among even numbers we pick. So here there is a system. Okay. So the population is listed, and we randomly we pick. So that is what systematic sampling, maybe alphabetical, numerical, like even numbers. And what is stratified sampling? So what we do, the population is divided into groups. Okay, the groups may be gender, age, income, their job role, or else any classification. And each group is known, is divided into subgroup. So what we say that subgroups are strata. The name behind this group subgroups are strata. So what we do is we do a stratified random sampling. So that is why everything comes under probability sampling, but we assign some kind of clarity. That is, only genders are put under one strata, and age-wise people are kept under one strata, and income-wise, like that way we do stratified random sampling. The next one is the cluster sampling, and here what we do, similar characters, that is homogeneous in nature. For example, if we take Reliance Fresh, see, Reliance Fresh is being started in each and every street we have. Even sometimes two Reliance Fresh in one street we have. For example, if you want to do a kind of research, that is how many people comes and purchases a particular brand, like that way, if we want to do, what we do, because every representative of that Reliance Fresh is doing the same job. So what we can do, we can take only 3 branches from the particular Chennai South Zone, 3 branches. Because that as it is homogeneous in nature, we do a cluster sampling by taking only 3 branches in order to come across a conclusion for the South Zone. Okay, what is the demand for this particular brand in the South Zone? For that purpose, what we do, we take into account only the 3 branches of Reliance Fresh. So that is what cluster sampling. And what is the meaning of non-probability sampling? As I said, that each and every one is not given importance. Everything has non-random criteria. That is, here when we talk about non-probability sampling, the first and foremost is the thing which we need is, this is convenience, and it is break. The word is break. Convenient sampling, that is, according to our convenience, what we do, we pick 100 people. Okay, what the 100 people will say, it may not be the actual representation of the population. So when we talk about the non-probability sampling, it is always maximum, it is biased, and inferences according to the person who does the particular project. It is their inference. Okay, so that is what non-probability sampling we cannot rely upon. Okay, so next one, purposive sampling. So here judgment based sampling we do. That is, we some, for example, purposive sampling. For example, what we can take as an example is, from one particular university, we take only the disabled students and we get the feedback of a particular thing. So how do you feel? How about your mobility inside the particular university or a college? So this is what purposive sampling, that is detailed knowledge of a particular phenomenon. And next one, quota sampling. As we all know that Quota, we know. So I think it is a sampling with a preset standard. Okay, already there will be some standard for that, so that we say even our BC, MBC, like that way we have our we have been divided. So it is a example for quota sampling, and the last one is the snowball sampling. And here, what we do inside the snowball sampling, we I mean we will not be able to find out that track. We cannot able to track certain cases. So in such a case, what we will do, we will do the snowball sampling. For example, if a particular person that is some dreadful diseases, if he has cancer or some other
Hello.
diseases, yeah, I know, yeah, or else any refugees who has come from a particular country, then if we come into contact with one person, then we can ask, so who are all accompanied you while you came from that particular country, then that person will give the complete track as well as the trace of that particular people. So this is what snowball sampling, that is one person gives idea about the other, with the other person we come to know about the other three, so that we can track us or else we can trace. So this is what snowball I mean sampling. I think you are clear about I mean sampling. So now we are going to see about scales. So, what is the meaning of scales? That is nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio scales. These are the four measurement scales which is utilized in order to capture the data from the surveys or from the questionnaires or some similar research. Okay, so here I mean, even the scales which we use, even we use for multiple choice questions, we use scales. And how this psychologist Stanley Smith Stevens, he is the one who created these kind of four levels of management measurement. Okay, well, I mean this is being found out by this psychologist. Okay, so let me see one by one. What is nominal scale? So inside the nominal scale, what we do, we where it is used. That is, it is used only for the qualitative research. What is the meaning of qualitative? The write-ups. Okay. So, for example, we will write what is your gender. So that is what we say as the nominal scale. That is the level of measurement in which the numbers serve as the tags or labels to classify or else identify the objects. So next one, ordinal scale. Here, what we do, we rank them. We rank first, second, like that way. We the level of measurement is given with the help of ranking of data. So that is what we say is the ordinal scale. And next one, what is the interval scale? So what inside the interval scale, we normally inside quantitative measurement give some kind of intervals. That is what we say Likert scale. Famous popular interval scale is Likert scale. We give equal intervals. For example, very good, good, neutral, bad, very bad, like that way. Okay, strongly agree, agree, do not agree, like that way. Okay, we give interval for all the scales. Equal importance is given. So that is what Likert scale. And next one, ratio scale. Here, why inside ratio scale, it is the only scale of measurement where 0 is taken into account. From 0 to 10 kg, how much? Like that way. So the character of the origin, 0 points is given inside this ratio scale. And next one, this is the important thing I thought of as if you are able to take a screenshot, please take, because this is the permissible statistics. When you are using the nominal measurement scale, then what you need to do, you have to apply percentages, mode, chi-square test, contingency coefficient, or else binomial test. If you are using ordinal scale, because ordinal means giving rank, then what you need to do is the example for what you can give ranking. For preference, you can give rank, and for images, then what are all the statistics you can use? You can use percentile, quartiles, median, rank order correlation, Friedman, ANOVA technique you can use for ordinal scale. And if you are using an interval scale, What is I said? Likert scale. That is equally importance is given. Ratio is given for all the scores. You, what are all the examples for that? That is what I agree, don't agree, attitude. All adjectives can be used inside this interval scale. Attitude, opinion, index numbers. Then, in the if we are using the interval scale, then what is the permissible statistics? Product moment, correlation, coefficient test, Z test, ANOVA, regression analysis, as well as factor analysis. And the last one, if you are using a ratio scale, here I said from 0 we can use any intervals. Okay, and if it is that, then we can use age, income, market share, sales, cost, like that way. So here geometric, this permissible statistic is geometrical mean, harmonic mean, coefficient coefficient of variation, like that. Yes. So next, yeah, this we know primary data, secondary data. Yes. So how far we can collect that by through observation, then through interview method, then we can use questionnaire and we can use some schedules. And what about what is secondary data? That is, if it is already published through government publication, public records, historical or statistical documents, business documents, technical and trade journals, then we say it is a secondary data. That is, if it is published, these people will publish. And what are the unpublished data? If you write, that is diaries, personal diary, if some person has a habit of writing, then the letter, personal letters, these are also can be taken for the secondary data. Okay, that is letters, then unpublished biographies, all that can be utilized under the secondary data collection. Yes. Next. Yes. When we talk about hypothesis, yes, research hypothesis, HO, H1, I said, H dot, that is H0. What is research hypothesis? So I said it is hypothesis can be framed only on the assumption. It may be a tentative statement which we need to find out what is the actual evidence for assuming this particular hypothesis. So while framing the hypothesis, what we do, we will come across variables. That is variables. The variables we'll see, and I said dependent as well as independent variables are there. And when we talk about the hypothesis, there are some classification. So first one is the simple as well as yeah, here it is. Types of hypothesis: simple hypothesis, complex hypothesis, directional, non-directional, null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, associative, causal. So let me see one by one. When we talk about simple, what is the meaning of simple? There will be one dependent variable and one single independent variable. Both will be one. For example, you eat more vegetables, you will lose weight. Okay, so that is what here, as we say here, vegetables is an independent variable, losing weight is the dependent variable. It is so very clear because I mean independent in the sense you can take what all you feel as a vegetable you can take. Okay, so that is what independent, and a variable is we say as independent. And what is the result? The dependent variable is losing weight. So this is the first one, single hypothesis. And next one, complex hypothesis. There may be two or more dependent variables, and the result also will be two or more independent variables. For example, here what we say inside, I am eating vegetable as well as fruits. Okay, and what is that? Independent variable is two now, vegetable and fruit. And what is the dependent? I lose weight, I get immunity, I have a glowing of my skin. Okay, so that is what the dependent variable. And the next one is when we talk about directional as well as non-directional hypothesis. So what is the meaning of directional hypothesis? That is, we come across if you give an input of high quality of education, what is the resultant? There will be a high quality of practice. That is what we say. Inside nursing, if we while nursing education is given by a high quality methodology of education is imparted, it is inculcated, then what will be, they will also practice in the efficient way. Okay, they may be able to diagnose the problem. They even can give recommend some suggestions. So that is what directional hypothesis. And what is non-directional hypothesis? And I have taken a teacher-student relationship. See, teacher-student relationship influence students' learning. This we cannot say there is a directional hypothesis. Okay. So what is the thing is, we can predict the relationship, that is the independent variable and the dependent variable, but we cannot specifically say there is a directional conclusion of a resultant. Okay. We cannot say. Teacher and student relationship may be fair, as well as maybe exclusively you can you can treat that student and you can inculcate education, everything, but that we cannot come under practice skills as well as your learning result. So this is what non-directional hypothesis. And next one, null hypothesis as well as alternative. Here, this is what we always use. Okay, null hypothesis means we give some kind of negative statement. That is what H dot we say. That is the HO. Okay, H0. And here, one example is given. There is no significant change in my work habits when I get 8 and when I get 9 hours of sleep. Even if I sleep for 8 hours, my work efficiency is this much only. Even I sleep more than 8 hours, my work efficiency only is this. There's no significant relationship. That is null hypothesis. And what is alternative hypothesis? That is, we study two variables. Okay. From that we derive that one variable has a cause and effect. That is 100% there is an effect on the other. So opposite to null hypothesis. So effect that is work habits. Here what we say the same thing. Yeah, I get 8 hours of sleep only, and my habits. If I sleep more, if I take rest more, then I'm able to work efficiently. So this is what null hypothesis. The next one, casual as well as associative hypothesis. What is the meaning of casual? So here also inside casual hypothesis also, what we do, we find the cause and effect relationship. For example, I took vitamin tablets so that my immunity level has been raised. Okay, so my hemoglobin content is raised. I took iron tablets, my hemoglobin count increased. So casual hypothesis. What is associated? Here, any one change will have a equivalent change in the other variable also. So that is what we are here. What is the associative? What is the associative is, there is when I have food, dietary food, or if if I take this, that is dietary intervention in my food, will has reacted. Has gave a equivalent reaction in my weight reduction. So this is what associative hypothesis. And what is a variable? This here I said dependent. What is dependent variable? What is independent variable? Here we can see here. So variable here, gender, income, like that way. What are all varies? What are all changes? What are all differs from one individual to another? We say we take it as variable, and we categorize variables under quantitative, categorical, independent, as well as dependent. Okay, what is quantitative? So inside quantitative, it is measured in numbers. Always QUAN. This N, you highlight N. When quantity is there, it is represented numbers. When quality is there, L is there, then we give write-ups, we describe. Okay, we will not show anything in numbers. So here inside quantitative, we show inside numbers, number variables, and there are two types inside quantitative. That is discrete as well as continuous. So when you say discrete, what is the meaning of discrete? Integer, that is in 7 days, in 1 week, I found this particular change. In 12 months, in a year, I find this particular change. So that is number of students in a class, number of different tree species inside a forest. Like that way, what we do, we give a count. That is what integer variable inside quantitative. That is discrete. What is the meaning of continuous? So here there are some scales, that is some ratios are there, and we say that that is how much kilometers are there from this particular place to that particular place, and how what volume of water can be carried on this in this particular tanker lorry, like that way. And what is the sugar level in the human body, what is the approximate sugar level, like that way what we give, that is known as continuous variable. And next one, here we talk about and there are also some binary variable. When we talk about categorical variable, I said no, categorical variable. Here second one, what is category? The place of residence, urban, rural, semi-urban, semi-rural. So that is what. So inside that categorical variable, how we say, we conclude inside nominal as well as ordinal variable. So what is the nominal? Nominal is the thing where we cannot rank. That is, arithmetic operations cannot be used inside nominal variable. I am talking about categorical variable. Some slide is being hidden. I can't find the slide for categorical nominal variable, so that I am explaining. So once again I say, what is categorical variable? It is it defines about the place of residence, maybe urban, rural or semi-urban. Wherein it is subdivided into binary variable. A particular thing, for example, if there is a head or a tail, win or lose, like that way, if we divide the particular data, then we say it is a binary variable. Always binary means two. That is head or tail, or win or lose. Next one, nominal variable. What is the meaning of nominal variable? There is no order. For example, if we want to, we cannot rank certain things. That is, we want to say only today, I mean, the students came in red color, like that way. We cannot rank them. We cannot give any arithmetical, we cannot utilize. It is just we say this brand they used, this color they came. So that is what nominal variable. And what is the ordinal variable? Or ordinal. Here, we sometimes in governments we will have large, medium, small, some numerical order we would have given, ranked. Ranking would be given. For example, NAC, A plus plus, B plus. So if we have some kind of grade, we have established some kind of grade, then that is that comes under the categorical variables. And now let me go for independent as well as dependent variable, because popularly independent variable is IV, because many students know doing the research, they'll get confused which is IV, which is dependent variable. It is so simple that independent variable will have some reason for change. Okay, cause and effect relationship will be there. Okay, so that is what independent variable. And what is dependent variable is, dependent variable will be I mean for example, attendance shortage will lead to non-appearance or in the semester exam. So here, what is the independent variable? Independent variable is the attendance. Okay. So what is the dependent variable? You can't write the exam. So this is how we can classify the IB as well as dependent variable. And next, this is the most thing which I thought of explaining, that is chi-square test. How to apply for a paper, for presenting a paper, an analytical, a simple analytical tool. So first let me give the problem and explain. After that I'll explain the theory, because theory everyone will understand, but when you have a problem, then you can understand the theory in a well and good manner. So here, a sample of 200 persons with a particular disease was selected. Out of these, 100 were given a drug and others were not given any drug. So the result is given. See, cured, who are all the people cured with using a drug is 65. And without drug, cured people are 55, and their total is 120. And not cured people, That is, even drug is given, but they didn't get cured. They are 35 in numbers, and no drug is given, and they have not cured also. They are 45, and their total is 80. So first of all, what we do, and it is asked that test whether drug is effective or not using a chi-square test. So first of all, what we do, we frame a hypothesis. H naught, that is, drug is not effective. And what is H1? That is alternative. Drug is effective. That is what. First of all, let me take into account the null hypothesis. Okay. So what we are going to derive is this drug is not effective. Okay. So for that purpose, what we have to do is we have to focus only the total, row total as well as the column total. See here, row R1 I have shown in red color. R1 is 120 and R2 is 80, and this is the total n numbers. Okay, and here this is C1 column 1, this is column 2, that is also 200, and then the n is 200. Okay. Till this, are you able to understand this answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. After that, what we are going to inside chi-square test, what we do is we are going to take expected frequencies. That is, what is expected from this particular given data. For that purpose, what we have to take, R1 and C1 should be multiplied. Okay, R1 is 120, C1 is 100. That should be divided by 200, and you get 60. Then same R1 should be multiplied with the column 2. Okay. So 120 with 100. This is the methodology which you have to use. Okay. First you have to take the row. So R1 should be multiplied with C1. Second, R1 should be multiplied with C2. Okay. Both the way you get 60. Then after that, what you do, we to take R2. It has to be multiplied with the column 1, and R2 should be multiplied with the column 2. This way. Then what we get, 60, 60, 40, 40. This is what the expected frequency according to our calculation inside chi-square test. Next, what we do, we as there is a this particular table is there, that is 65, 55, 120, 35, 45, 80, 100, 100, 200, like the same way. With this expected answers, we frame a particular table. How we frame? See, both R1 answers are written. R1 60, 60. Okay, so we write in the row 60 as well as 60, and from R2 what we have come across 40 and 40. That is, row 2 answers 40 as well as 40 we write, and same way we total it. Okay, 60 plus 60 is the total 120, 60 plus 40 is 100, 60 plus 40 is 100. So what we have done, we have framed a new table, expected frequency. After that, what we are going to do is we are going to apply the chi-square test table. What has been observed and what is expected. Okay, the observed is nothing. This 65, 55, 35, 45. Can you follow? 65, 35, 55, 45. We have to write it one particular column. Okay, what is given in the problem is taken, and it is being written as 65, 55, 35, 45. Like this way, 65, 35, 55, 45. And after that, from here, what we do, we write column wise. Both column wise only we have to take 65, 35, 55, 45. 65, 35, 55, 45. Here 60, 40, 60, 40. So column wise we are writing inside expected. Able to follow?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yeah. This is observed and this is expected. What is O minus E? 65 minus 60 is 5. Okay. This 5 is squared. Okay, 5 5 is 25. Like the same way, 35 minus 40, O minus E. Okay, 35 minus 40 is 5. It is squared, so 25. 55 minus 60, that is also 5. Even if it comes in a negative way, when you square it, you get whole number as 25. And here 45 minus 40, 5. The whole square. So you get the whole square. O minus E the whole square. Now what you do is, see, O minus E is 525. After that, each and every answer of O minus E the whole square is divided by the E expected. That is 25 divided by 60. What is the answer? 0.417. 25 divided by 40, that is 0.625. 25 divided by 60, 0.417. 25 divided by 40, 0.625. We get, this is the answer. So, chi-square test, what we apply, we get answer of 2.084. Okay, let it be. Now, what you are going to do is, you'll in the statistical book, you'll have significance. Significance, that is, what is the meaning of significances? See, level of significance, there will be a paper, and there what you have to, row and column you have to find out. For that purpose, what you need to do is, here see how many rows and how many columns are here. Two rows and two columns are there. For that purpose, what we need to do, r minus 1 as well as c minus 1, we have to multiply. So what is r minus 1? Two rows are there. So 2 rows minus 1. 1 is the answer. Columns, 2 columns are there. 2 columns minus 1. 1 is the answer. So 1 into 1 is the answer. So at one level of significance, what is the meaning of one level of significance? That is, my study, what I have done, there may be 99% of accuracy, and I may be wrong at one level. Okay. For example, if you have got many rows, you have 5 rows and 5 columns, what you have to do for everything, r minus 1, c minus 1 is the formula. Okay. So 4 minus 1 means 3. Here also 4 minus 1, 3. So 3 into 3, 9. At 9 level of significance, what is the answer is? My calculation is 91% significant. That is 91% proper, correct accuracy is there, and 9% it may differ. So that is what the level of frequency, and this, as we have taken only 2 rows and 2 columns, we get one level of frequency from the table value. The table value answer is 3.84. I think table value you could find it out from the statistics books at the end. So here at one level of frequency, 3.84 is the answer. If the 3.84 standard answer, from that the derived answer is lesser, then your hypothesis is accepted. Okay. Always, what is the meaning? Table value, from that table value answer is 3.84. What you have derived? You have derived at 2.084. How you came? 2.084 is this O minus E the whole square divided by U. Okay. So if the table value is lesser than what you have found, observed, that is what you have calculated, then your hypothesis is accepted. Okay. So what is our hypothesis? Drug is not effective. So we conclude that as the derived answer is less than the table value, the null hypothesis is accepted. Hence, the drug is not effective in curing the disease. Able to follow, students as well as faculty members?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now,
Nice.
Got it.
yeah, this is what the theory. Because why, when I say the theory, you'll feel some kind of disturbance. So that after explaining about the problem, I come for the theory. And when we talk about the theory, chi-square test, there are parametric as well as non-parametric. What is the meaning of parametric? That is, when you actually know the population, exact data is known, you use parametric. If the exact data is not known, exact population is not known, we use non-parametric. Okay. And this chi-square test is introduced by Carl Pearson. Okay. So it is to test the goodness of fitness, as well as the test of independence and everything. And here 2 variables can be compared, and more than 30 samples can also be used here. And this is a frequency based test. That is, frequency based test means here we saw whether the drug is used or drug is not used, whether it is cured or not cured. That is what the frequency which here we have used. So what hypothesis we use? We use HO, H naught, or else H1. That is, if it is a negative, we say HO. If it is an alternative hypothesis which we have used, then H1 we say. Then what we do, we check the observed frequency. What is observed frequencies? That is what given in the problem. That is, it is already given. Okay, what or else from the data what you have collected. Then you calculate the expected frequency. How you use the expected frequency? The row total, column total, and how you do take total number of observation, and you use the formula. That is, I gave you know R1 into C1 divided by N, R1 into C2 divided by 2, N, like that way. So after that, what we do, we formulate a table, that is observed minus expected frequency, then observed minus expected the whole square, then observed minus expected the whole square divided by expected frequency. So after that, we determine the degrees of freedom. So what is degrees of freedom? How many columns are there? That minus 1. How many rows are there? That minus 1. That is according to your data. So after that, what we do, we will come across the degrees of freedom. As I said, if you have 3 columns, 3 minus 1, then here 2. If you have 3 rows, then 3 minus 1, 2. 2 into 2, 4 is your significance level. Okay, that is degrees of freedom is 4. Then what we do, we will find from the chart. After that, we will check the level of significance. Maximum we allow 1% or 5%. We select. Okay. So because we will tabulate itself, we will come across only this level of check the level of significance between 1 to 5. After that, we select the table value, and after that, the specified level of significance is compared with the answer which we have derived. Then we decide whether to accept or to reject the null or alternative hypothesis. Clearly understood?
Yes, ma'am, we understand clearly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ma'am, that is,
Yeah.
I'm Gejalakshmi from
Yeah.
Commerce,
Yes.
that is from New Prince College.
Yeah.
Really nice the way you explained each and everything.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think within the short span of time, we learned a lot, I think, so it seems. Because I am handling a research methodology subject for MCOM students, I think within a short span of time, you explained each and everything. That is level of significance, features of the research, types of research, scale. So that the way you presented really nice, ma'am, really nice. We have to thank you for that. Surely it will be helpful for our that is beginners as well as middle level researchers, ma'am. Sure.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, I want to deliver the vote of thanks for you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This as uh, as ignited mind is the most powerful weapon on the earth. He deemed it is a great honor and privilege to deliver vote of thanks. I thank our principal and our chairman and directors, and all the staffs and organizing team for arranging the insightful session. I extremely thank our chief guest, Ra- Rani, Assistant Professor, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, for her valuable sharing of the knowledge. Dear Madam, the session was extremely interesting. I hope it will be beneficial for the future researcher and the teaching fraternity. Thank you for the entire who have rendered the great support in organizing the faculty development. And once again, I thank the technical team. Without their support, the day should not be good, it seems. So I want to thank the technical team and teaching and non-teaching faculties and all the participants who have joined for this faculty development program. Thank you once again, ma'am. Really excellent program. I think most of the I think you are getting good comments from the in this program. It seems. I think better you share that. If
Yes,
possible, you
sure.
share the PPT, ma'am. It should be helpful for us.
Is there any link here to share?
Okay, we will give you, ma'am. We will give.
Okay.
I will give. That is, I will give, ma'am. Better. They are asking your presentation
I'll
in the
send to
message
Nitya,
itself.
ma'am. I'll
Okay,
send to
ma'am.
Nitya.
Okay, ma'am.
I'll
Okay, I
send
will
to
collect it from Nitya, ma'am.
Sure,
Thank you,
sure,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you once again.
Shall we end this session?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes.
I participants really we share the PPT for yours for your convenience. Thank you for your support and rest of the programs also we have to attend and we need your cooperation. Thank you.
Dear participants, feedback link has been posted in chat box. Kindly fill the feedback form. Dear participants,
Dear participants, feedback link has been posted. You give your feedback.